This story is funny because a couple weeks ago we were talking about that ship that got stuck in the Suez Canal,
Right. The Ever Given.
and you just kind of made an offhand comment like, "Oh no, now my dildo is going to be later, or fleshlight or sex toy or whatever." And it turns out there might be some truth to that. Suez Canal blockage leaves Europe without garden gnomes and sex toys.
Well, didn't they confiscate it? They're going to try to recoup some of the money out of those goods or something.
It doesn't say that in this article, but I don't know.
Yeah, the Egyptian
I read
government,
that it was
they were
seized by the
finding,
government,
they
yeah.
seized the ship, yeah.
The Suez Canal getting blocked by a cargo ship has to be one of the biggest fuck-ups in recent memory. The whole fiasco brought a good portion of the global trade to a screeching halt. With the canal clogged, ships carrying goods and materials couldn't get to their destinations. As a result, people in countries around the world are now facing shortages with various things. But the UK might be having the worst time of all. The country is reportedly struggling with a lack of garden gnomes. We haven't seen a gnome in 6 months now, unfortunately, Ian Burns, assistant manager of Highfield Garden World store, told The Guardian. There aren't any. There's definitely a shortage, he added. Since gnomes aren't coming in from abroad, this seems like a good time for British gnome makers to step up production, right? No such luck. Even the basic elements of making garden gnomes have run out. Raw materials are becoming a bit of an issue, and unfortunately gnomes are a victim of the shortage. Gnomes of any type, plastic, stone, or concrete, are in short supply, Burns said. How can the country survive this disaster? And I'm going to skip a little bit because basically they said the reason the gnomes are in such demand is because when the pandemic hit and everybody was inside, a lot of people started gardens, and so that's why demand went up. But let's be honest, we want to get to the sex toy part. Speaking of the rest of Europe, it's not just garden gnomes that are in short supply. Some countries, like the Netherlands, face a shortage of a fleshier variety. Namely, one of the ships stuck in the canal was carrying 20 containers filled with sex toys, from dildos to vibrators and male masturbation aids. The ship's
Like a full shipping containers?
I guess.
Damn.
20 containers, yeah. The ship's cargo had something to scratch every itch. Unfortunately, there was no way for these goods to reach lusty customers.
What class do you have to take in college to write this stuff?
EDC Retail, the largest sex toy retailer in the Netherlands and Belgium, said it had nothing to offer its customers since most of its existing toy stock had been swept up earlier in the year during Valentine's Day. Due to the shipping blockage, the company predicts it lost millions of dollars. Although ships can again slide in and out of the canal, sex toy retailers are still left unsatisfied. It is annoying that such a hitch will continue for a long time before the rhythm in the transport chain is restored, lamented EDC retailer CEO Evertine Magerman. Just like with garden gnomes, the sex toy situation was further exacerbated by the pandemic. Some sex stores have seen sales triple during lockdown. Suppose gardening can't satisfy all needs. And it's too bad because if you had a garden gnome, maybe you could substitute with the pointy hats.
Yeah.
Flashlight, no.
Put those hands together.
Yep.
But yeah, I just thought that was funny because you kind of made that like offhand joke, and I'm like, oh man, he was right.
So much dildos. You think that's like every ship that's like going it somewhere? There's got like 20 black cars of dildos.
It's
Every
funny.
ship has a dildo room.
It's funny though, because don't you kind of think there's got to be so many dildos on Earth that there would never be a dildo shortage?
The virus hit, and I was going through a dildo a week.
Yeah, and aren't these dildos like most of them just like plastic or rubber, like things that won't break down?
Yeah.
I think, like the fleshlight stuff and like those silicones, I think they do. Like they have a lifetime, but yeah, you figure like some of the harder ones probably stick around for a while.
Yeah. Somebody's really going to town on them.
It's sad enough, like, the guy using the fleshlight probably doesn't feel great about himself, but if he starts like wearing them out like all the time, that's got to make him even more depressed.
Or, well, I don't know, he could be proud of himself,
That's true. I'm really tearing up these fucking fleshlights, man. Showing them who's boss.
Look at all these flashlights. Destroyed them.
Even though they're broken, he keeps them. It's just like,
Like a trophy.
yeah.
It seems like something gross you'd see like floating down the river.
Speaking of
Flashlight.
It'd be funny if you go to the dump and they just put them all in one pile.
Like flashlights over there.
Or they have specific. No, they should have a recycling can that's just for flashlights.